You know, sometimes, I've said it many times, that it's, I like this team a lot, and I use the word team in all caps. Today was an unbelievable team victory, and it was not easy. Iowa was playing great. They're just won at Michigan State. Fran, in my opinion, is as good an offensive coach as there is in the country. Just developing guys, getting them to play at a high level. I actually felt, other than the last play of the half, the last sequence of the half, I actually felt pretty good at half because I thought we'd force Dix and some of those guys into some pretty hard shots that they made. And could not be prouder of Coleman. Growth, maturity, great bounce back from the other night. Obviously, a night where Marcus and Terrence didn't have their best, and yet we found a way. I thought Dane, I thought Amani did great jobs. Dane had 8 rebounds, missed a couple bunnies, but and then I thought Amani's presence was very, very impactful. Nico hadn't made a basket in a month, but you can tell he's a coach's kid. You can tell he's a team guy. He's never gotten wrapped up into any of that. He's never come and asked me, what do I have to do to play? He just shows up every single day and does his job, gets an extra lift with Fletch every day. And it's amazing how good things happen to people who work hard. And then I've been pretty upset with Justin after the game at Penn State. He gave up 5 back cuts and just mistakes. They're just mistakes, and especially when you spend a ton of time on them. And you can't go make mistakes. And I let him set a long time in the first half, and yet he responded. Maybe that bench is a pretty good motivator sometimes. But our bench won us the game. Our defense, I thought, in the second half was outstanding. 35%, 16% from 3. They made 1, and we had enough. And that's hard to do sometimes because you have to score against Iowa because they're going to make some tough shots. So great team win today.
Brett, defensively, obviously, they only get 19 shots at the rim. Instead of some of the other games we've seen 25, 30 shots at the rim, more points to the point paint. Was this what you envisioned when you forced tough twos here?
Yeah, our whole, it's not rocket science what we do. It's tough twos and then it's limit them to 1 shot. I thought we did a much better job, especially in the second half. Nico gets a lot of credit just guarding the ball and keeping it in front of us. And I think we've somebody told me we gave up the fewest layups that we have since the Rutgers game, maybe the first one. Again, my hat's off to Nico. Our guys guarded the ball better, and again, we can't have mistakes. That's all I've been harping on. You can't make mistakes. You can't make scouting report mistakes. You got to be able to take away what the other team does, and that's obviously a bit of factor of that.
Brad, similar situation to the Penn State game back here. Up 10 with 2 minutes left. Did you sense a different attitude with the guys this time? Like they learned what not to do to avoid that collapse?
Not at all. I think it was the same way. You guys got to understand, we didn't talk for 1 second about the Penn State game. We didn't show one clip. We didn't even grade it out. And there's a difference between having freshmen and younger teams who know. Terrence Shannon knew he shouldn't have dribbled. He had 3 guys open. Coleman knew he shouldn't have fouled. He missed 2 free throws. We took a quick shot. They all knew. And we talk about situations repeatedly. So it was more about the mental approach and our ability to guard. So I didn't worry about that for 5 seconds. We did it the game before at Maryland. We put it away. So that's just a fluke. It happens, and we just flushed it, so to speak.
Coach, was it the game plan to come into this game to use or to go that deep into the bench? And
Not really.
That's what I thought. And
Not
what
really,
was
no.
kind of behind the line change there a couple minutes into the second half?
I was just thrilled with the way the first group played. I was so excited about us not getting on the floor and giving up rebounds, and I had seen enough with that group, and their butt needed to find the bench, and they needed to understand it's not acceptable, and playing time is not a given thing. Just because you average this or you've been out there, and I've said it, we've got a really good team, and I couldn't be prouder that it worked today. But I've made a lot of line changes over the years in different ways, but I also had a lot of confidence in what that group can do because I see them every day.
Brad, I understand the motivational aspect of the line change from that standpoint, but specifically to Nico, what did you see from him that also gave you the confidence to have him close the game out like you did?
He's really fast. My concerns with Nico are never on the offensive end. They've always been about defensive, but I kept him in because of what he was doing on the defensive side. We got over the top of every ball screen. He didn't foul. I mean, we all know he might weigh $170 soaking wet, and yet he's in there fighting and competing. And they tried to post him 2 or 3 times. He committed a foul. I didn't think it was a foul, but then he's got the ability to break the defense down. He gives us a different look. And again, at a night when TJ and Mark were great, man, it created some opportunities and to drive the ball and playing ball screens, and he was great, and he wasn't afraid to take a couple threes when he was wide open.
Brad, you said this was growth and maturity for Coleman. Obviously, he's doing that throughout his career, but what did it look like the last couple of days, and what did he show you?
What did he tell you?
Didn't say much specifically. Got off social media, he said.
Anybody want to check that? All those conversations stay really private, but we had a get real conversation, and I'm really happy with him. I love his response. A year or 2 ago, I'm not sure that would have been the response. I think it was beneficial. We had a pretty quick turnaround in a game. But he practiced great, and it's just the correlation that happens with when the mind is right and the mental approach is right. It was not at Penn State, quite simply not, and he knows that. But he also has to understand the impact that it has on everybody at this university, every fan, every teammate, and it's bigger than just him. And so I couldn't be happier. I thought Coleman was just fantastic today.
So Brad, Coleman had a really good effort play there that led to a steal and isolated game of high five. What are those type of plays just mean for the team?
Well, as a veteran and as a leader, that's really contagious. And we played this same Iowa team, and it took DeMonte Williams diving on the floor for a loose ball to win a championship. And that's how you win. And my point of frustration is it's not just a Big Ten game. It's the abruptness of the end that happens if you don't make that play in the NCAA tournament. And we can't pick and choose when we do those moments. And he was picking and choosing. And the game will never treat you right if you do that. So growth. I hope it's continues to be very contagious and diving on loose balls and challenging the rim. And I thought Amani did the same thing. I thought we had multiple guys on the floor today. So those are all the hustle plays that let you advance in March.
Brad, I know you've always been a big fan of Amani's game. What's led to where he can give you this kind of shot in the arm?
Practice. I've said this many times. I think Amani would be playing 20+ minutes a game if it was not for his injury. Extremely high IQ. I don't know how to describe him. He's nasty. He's just got a nasty, competitive, gritty, fiery. He is the greatest trash talker we've had here since IO. He fights you. He is just that kid. That's who he is, and it's every day and it's every play. And we missed that when he was out, but put that along the way that he's a really, really smart player, and he'd be helping us.
Even if maybe the plan wasn't to play the number of guys you did, the number of minutes that they got, I mean, does that make you sort of reevaluate how you've used your bench maybe in your rotation?
I don't go in with a plan. I go in to win. And sometimes, we've had a unique season in the fact we haven't been really healthy and whole and we've had some other issues. So we had to do what we had to do to survive, to win. And it's nice to kind of be getting back there a little bit. I'm so happy with Dane and Amani today, but again, it's just, it gives me comfort to see them do it. I'm not saying it was planned, but it's nice to know that it worked out right.
Brett, 5 straight 20-win seasons, first time since Lou Henson. What's that mean to you?
Well, I think it's really hard to do in this league. I don't want anybody to ever take that for granted. Great coaches, great players, great administration. You look at what we've done with this building, the State Farm Center. You look at what we've done with Oven. It speaks volumes to a lot of people, not just one individual, but we've had really good players, and I love consistency. I've never been here to try to have a great team. I've been here to try to have a great program, and to try to withstand that through the course of the time in what is the best league in the country, and the best fans. So, but on the other hand, I think it should kind of be the norm here. I think this is a really, really good job, and you can win national championships here. And I've said that many times. And throw the piano on my back. I'm good. I can handle that. But that's our expectation here. So, my opinion is, go get 5 more. Why stop? I think it's within the realm. But I think today Derek told me was the 1,000th win in Big Ten play of our program, and I think that's only one other school. Is that right? One other school to accomplish that. Wow, that speaks to everything I talk about how great this program is, and we have to look at it that way. If we're not, then damn it, leave. I mean, we have to think about how great this place is and this program is, and so I do. So I'm consistency part of it. That means a lot. That really does. It means a lot because we're in the best league in the country. There's a lot of really good coaches and players, but we should be. Kind of an arrogant attitude, but we should be.
Brett, Nico described his game today as needed. I guess, how did you see him navigate? Like, he got into the rotation, then he gets hurt and had to come back. Like, how do you see him kind of work his way through this whole season?
As well as anyone could do it. He never beat my door down. He showed up every day. He got the extra lifts. And what an unbelievable teammate and what an unbelievable statement for every basketball player out there. No matter what level you are, when your time comes and you're needed, can you help your team win because you're prepared? I'm sure he went in today not saying I'm playing 18 minutes. He had no idea. That's the ultimate teammate. It's the ultimate mental approach, staying ready. And he has handled that as perfectly as any player I've been around. That was awesome today. That was fun to see.
Hey Brad, I saw that yesterday you mentioned you're considering some slight tweaks on defense. It seemed today that you were switching as much 1 through 4. Was that Iowa specific, or is that something that we might consider more as we move forward?
We're trying to eliminate some mistakes. We're trying to be very conscious of matchups. It was both. It was, to be very honest. Perkins is a handful. And, the high ball screen, switching, their movement, their flares, are all issues, but, it's something that we're trying to just eliminate some mistakes and keep matchups a little more intact.
With the way you guys play off the bench, does that give you more comfort as a coach that if you need to make a big change
Sure.
like you did, that you can do that and there won't be a drop off?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, anytime guys play well, I think there's tremendous value in that. And like I mentioned earlier, we haven't had that luxury because we haven't truly been healthy, and we're trying to fight through just getting that back and seeing what that looks like right now. So I'm, like I said, sure, it gives me a lot of confidence knowing that Nico Moretti's going to be ready and that Amani's growing into what we thought he was going to be. Thank you.